Plywood sizes. Do not multiply, just decide which sheet of plywood is larger and ring it. If you think they are both the same size, draw a saw to the right of the exercise. Pause the video, solve the problems, unpause the video to see the answers. We're comparing the dimensions of sheet A and sheet B to find out which is larger. To help us discuss, we're going to say that the first dimension is length and the second dimension is width. So the same goes for sheet B. The first dimension is length and the second dimension is width. So when we look at problem number 1, we see that the first dimension length is 1.5 feet. And the first dimension length over here is also 1.5 feet. So right now they're the same size. When I look at the second dimension, width, I see that sheet A is 1.5 feet wide and sheet B is 2 feet wide. So this means that sheet B is going to be larger than sheet A. Question 2. 2.5 feet long and 3.5 feet wide is sheet A. This gives me a rectangular piece of wood. So this would be 2.5 feet, and this would be a little bit longer, so it's not quite square. And this would be 3.5 feet. So it's a very rectangular piece, not quite square. Compare that over here to 1.25 by 7 feet. This is a very long and narrow piece of wood. It's 1.25 foot by 7 feet. Now, we're going to estimate here. Let's say this was 1. This would be 7 times 1 is 7. And let's say we rounded this to 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, so this piece of wood is anywhere between 7 and 14. All right, over here, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 4, if I round it up, 3 times 4 is 12. So they don't really want us to calculate the answers here. They want us to estimate. And they give us the option of drawing a saw. If you think they are both about the same size, we're supposed to draw a saw. So for question number 2, I would draw a saw because they are close. We could actually do the math and find out which one has a bigger area, but again, they don't want us to actually multiply. All right, question number 3. 1 3/4 times 3 7/8 is our first piece of wood, and 2 feet times 3 feet. All right, so here, this one is, so our first dimension of length, A is bigger, in our first dimension length, A is smaller, but then our second dimension, A is bigger. So we have to decide like which one is bigger. So here, this is almost 2 feet. This is almost 2 feet, and this is almost 4 feet. Whereas this is exactly 2 feet, and this is exactly 3 feet. So the best estimate here would be that sheet A is the larger piece. All right, question number 4. We have 3 1/4 feet times 3 1/3 feet. Sorry, 3 1/4 feet times 4 1/3 feet. These really do round down to 3 feet for your length times 4 feet. And in this case, we have 3 feet times 5 feet. So the best estimate for the larger piece of wood would be B. For question number 5, we have 4.5 feet and 2 1/4 feet. So really we can round this to 4 times 2. And here we have 2 times 1. So clearly 5 would be larger. Now 3 feet 11 inches is very close to 4 feet. And 2 feet 9 inches is very close to 3 feet. And over here, 2.5 feet could go either 2 or 3 times 4. Okay, but obviously 2 feet 9 inches, and this is 2 feet and a half. This one is larger. Okay, so our best estimate here would be 6, which would be 3 feet 11 inches. Read the two sizes of plywood sheets. Sheet A is 2.5 feet times 3 feet. Sheet B is 2 feet times 3.5 feet. Use mental math, which is larger. Obviously, I can't show you what's in my brain, so I'm going to draw it out. For sheet A, we have the length is 2.5 feet by 3 feet. So I'm going to draw a box here, and we're going to have 2 feet, 2 feet. So this is 1 foot, 1 foot, and a half of a foot. And then I'm going to divide this into 3 feet. Okay. And sheet B is going to be 2 feet, and then we're going to be 3.5 feet. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. We'll make that a half of a foot. Okay. And we're going to make that 2 feet. All right. So this is 2.5 by 3, and this is 2 by 3.5. So how many square feet is that? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. And then this is a half. So this is 7.5 feet squared. Now here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are both halves, so that equals 7. So this will be 7 feet squared. So which is larger? Sheet A is larger. How much larger? Well, the difference is a half a foot squared. Our problem now is asking us to double the length of the shorter side of both sheets. How much bigger is the larger piece now? Okay, so I'm going to have to do a little erasing here just to give me some more space. Okay, and I'm going to change my color. All right, so we have to double the length of the shorter side. So for sheet A, 2.5, 2.5 times 2 is 5. So we have 5 feet. It's going to be 5 feet times 3 feet. Well, I can just do that in my head. That's 15 feet squared. Now here I have 3.5 times 2, 10, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 7 feet. And 7 feet times 2 feet is 14 feet. So we have 14 feet squared and 15 feet squared. So actually I didn't need to erase anything. So the difference here is 1 foot squared. Well done.